Good morning, everyone. I would like to present you the next Industry 5.0 keynote speech. This time we will speak about the power of touch in Industry 5.0. My name is Mike Rada. I am human and I am the founder of Industry 5.0. And before we start, let me ask you two questions. The first is who we are, because we have many titles. We are managers, presidents. We are chairmen, students, producers, teachers, fathers and mothers. We have many titles which we collected during our lives. But with more and more collected, we forgot one, that we are human beings. Living ones, not like this man on County Art of Pilsen Brewery. And if we do realize who we are, it is a time to ask a second question. Where do we live? Because we live in beautiful cities like Roubaix, like Pilsen, Paris, Brussels. We live in beautiful cities which we filled with trash. And we work in factories which produce in one day more trash than a city in a month. And we produce products which frequently, before reaching the client and the end user, become trash as well. And we store them in big metal houses full with air, calling for more because we do not have enough space to store them. And at the end of our shift, we go home next to the output of our production. And when we arrive, maybe we realize that something what was called food before, it's called bio-waste today. And we look at the red sky above our heads and we ask ourselves, where do we live? Let me tell you this. I was born on a planet called Blue Marble. It was December Christmas Day, 1971. But in 2019, the planet was not blue anymore, it was gray through environmental damage. And then, in many destinations, the blue skies show up again. Not because of human, but because of virus. We are living on a planet around which we have been able in few decades to generate a global landfill with more than 170 million pieces of space debris. We have been able to create a landfill on our orbit. And what we do to the planet? We dig inside, hunting for more, because the more become only criteria of success. More cars, more houses, more companies, more people, more friends, more likes. More. Ask Fortune 500 companies. Ask Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Jack Ma. Ask all of them what is the criteria of success. We are living on one planet together with 7.9 billion people, not knowing that 200 years ago it was just 1 billion. And 100 years ago it was just 1.5 billion, which means within 100 years, the last ones, we have been able to grow up the population living on the planet 5 times. And in 2050, there should be 11 billion people living on our planet. And just now, please remember the last image. We are living on a planet in 206 countries, according to UN 197. We are speaking 7,000 languages, riding 1 billion cars, and we let 9 million people dying hungry, despite of the fact that more than 23 million tons of crop and food is being wasted globally every single day. We let 800,000 people die thirsty, despite the fact that only California crude oil industries spoil every single day more than 347 million liters of drinking water. We grow our food to throw it away because the leaves are not green enough. Same we do with the overproduction of our food, because we do not want to spoil the market price. We carry our water in firefighting tanks, not knowing that the same amount of water is needed to produce just one and single hamburger, and we do it on a planet where one sip of water can save not one but 2 lives. And we work in factories which store the obsolete products or packaging on a parking lots dedicated to employees, waiting till it becomes waste. We work in factories which has walls filled with environmental certificate, and inside the walls or behind them the same factory produces a landfill. We throw away products which are not fine and perfect for one, but can serve well hundreds and thousands of others. We listen to the words of World Bank, which says that till 2050 the waste volumes will grow. In some destination, it will even double. Despite the fact that almost everything is or can be recycled or reused or repurposed, but only 13.5 is being really repurposed. All these charts are in one and only report delivered by World Bank. And this is why the waste industry became the third most profitable industry in the world, following the war industry and the crude oil industry. What is the specification of Industry 5.0? Industry 5.0 is the first industrial evolution ever led by man, by human. It is based on the principles of systematic waste prevention, and it was delivered on December 1st, 2015. It recognizes and prevents 4 types of waste: physical, social, urban, and process waste. And as mentioned, it was introduced officially on December 1st, 2015, but implemented the principles are from 2013 already. It prevented more than 1 million metric tons of products to become waste. On October 14th, 2020, the world's first Industry 5.0 ambassador was assigned in India. On January 7th, 2021, European Commission included Industry 5.0 in European Sustainable Development Framework, and on October 19th, 2020, United Nations spoke about Industry 5.0 on the World Investment Forum. On January 1st, 2021, we have started the first Global Recovery Challenge, called 17. You may ask, what is the power of touch? The man cannot live meaningless life. These are the words of Carl Gustav Jung, and he is right. But he did not mention that the work is an important part of our life. Physical work delivers palpable results, and these deliver the possibility to benefit from power of touch, because touch is one of the strongest senses in human life, and it has the longest memory. This is why the touch on the physical results delivered hundreds of thousands of years ago deliver the feeling of being there, And what is interesting that the permanent push on digitalization and virtualization in fact does not decrease but increase the power of touch impact. Because it is enough to ask how the digital bread or water taste. And people will recognize. This is the power of touch, but we are looking at the power of data as well. But firstly, let me tell you that we have made a big mistake in the history of mankind. We have trusted that the future can be built on the top of a pyramid, the waste pyramid. But it is even hard to stay on the top of a pyramid, not speaking about the creation of a future. This is why I decided to build another groundstone, more stable one, and I add 3 R's and created 6 R instead of 3 R. Because 6 R deliver the possibility, even if the earth will be shaking, to build up the future on the top of it. And how does it work? It's hard, because firstly you have to recognize that something must not become waste. And trust me, it's not easy if you waste the item before. But the second step is even harder, because you have to reconsider what to do with it. And it's really hard. You can try. But the third step is the reward. Realize it. You may fail for the first, second, third time, but then you succeed and you start to change the world. Because of that, and because of the fact that there was nobody taking care of systematic waste prevention, I spent 8 years to create a wasteless legal framework. And here it is. Waste prevention policy. Nothing that can be used or utilized again must become waste. Everything must be considered primary, pre-waste existing result and remain in the system. The secondary use or utilization is not limited to a primary function of a product or material. It can be used and executed by everyone, respecting the regulation and safety conditions. Collecting, sorting, belling, transportation and trade are not being considered anymore secondary utilization, and if not utilized on a primary location, it must be offered to others before being wasted. And please do understand, there is no waste if we do not waste. And waste is the result of process called wasting, and there was not a single legislation in the world which defined the wasting, so I did it myself. Because wasting is a process in which product or material of any kind, form and volume become waste. In fact, wasting is a system failure and must be prevented first without any limitation and legal restriction. And please do understand, wasting is not a feature of a product or material, but the result of human behavior. And single use represents one of the most common ways of wasting. The power of touch is limitless. Do you know who this man is? Probably you never saw him. It is a candidate for a president of a country. The man who asked to visit another man, who he heard creates an industry by himself. And I accepted his request. We spent 2 hours in my office. He sitting on a chair made out of single-use cardboard and so-called cores from a stretch foil. And he called his chair the unique result of human skill. This is the power of touch. And what is the power of data? You know this man is me, but do you know these people? You probably never saw them. And there is one reason. They are not living. These people will never deliver the power of touch because they are just digital avatars of myself. Both of them. Many people ask me, Mr. Rada, what is the value of waste prevention? Is there any value? It is. The value of waste prevention is 475 trillion US dollars every single year. It's 8 times global GDP and already starting. You can cut the value or the cost of waste management by 50% on the first year. This is the value of waste prevention, and it's growing every single year. Dear ladies and gentlemen, Industry 5.0 is the first industrial evolution ever led by man, by human. It is the new mindset of people and businesses from wasteful to wasteless. It delivers the results without the need of capital investment, and it's based on the principles of systematic waste prevention, industrial upcycling. It utilizes the existing on-the-ground mines, and it's based on transparency, profit sharing, and efficiency. And please understand, Industry 5.0 is not a sales tool or a buzzword. It's a new global ecosystem. Ladies and gentlemen, we are living in the times of digitalization of our work. Our children are living in the years of digitalization of the education, and our leisure time was digitalized long time ago, so it looks like that the only things which needs to be digitalized is the human himself. But do you know how will look our world and home after this? It will be a black hole. Because data don't need any light, but I recognized this a decade ago and I decided to build another world, wasteless world, and this is my home. And it is everyone's decision in which world he or she would like to live. This is why we started the challenge called 17, in which we say that in 17 months can global society, industry, economy, and ecosystem being recovered after COVID. Dear ladies and gentlemen, my name is Michael Rada. I am human. And don't worry, I'm not alone. There are 94 Industry 5.0 ambassadors who deliver the tools of systematic waste prevention to more than 85% of global population. I have decided in which world I would like to live and hand over to others. Now is your time to decide. And let me help you to take your decision with the anthem of Industry 5.0. The right not to waste on the earth and in the space is the right to live a life and not just to survive. Meaningful as it is, power of touch, hug and kiss. Not to waste our time is more worth than a dime. Not to waste is not just right, it's privilege, it is the pride of a nature in a man who just woke to be human. We have the right not to waste. Let's use it and not waste in wasteless world that we built to live in and not kill. The right not to waste on the earth and in the space is the way to live a life and not just to survive.